Hey, Shalom, Israel. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak Kodash, that one is the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risk your life to do so. And one of the things I was looking at with this trial, which this has been going on, but you know, it got blown up a lot in this trial, how a lot of basically all of their movements were tracked. All of their movements were tracked, you know. And you're dealing with Esau, who he is the murderer. He is the fugitive, so he knows, you know. But they think that they're getting away by changing their name and changing everything to white over from Edom, you know, even though you can clearly trace the lineage of Alexander the Great and the people that they claim that they're connected to, you know, Philip the Macedonian, and all of Alexander's generals. You can clearly trace them back to the house of Esau. All right, but one thing I noticed, yeah, Esau will sit here, they'll hunt you down. The scriptures say they hunt our steps. Now, with these people, you know, that's why you don't want to give them occasion, to give them a reason. Right? In this situation, these guys did a murder, so, you know, it's perfectly understood. But with us, scriptures say they make a man an offender for a word. So they're looking for a word to try to get us on. Well, he said this and he said that. You know, and that's why the scriptures talk about discretion. And some things written, are heavy. Some things written are stumbling blocks. You know, they're meant to ensnare and entrap the wicked and make the wicked stumble over them. But some things written are really just plain and simple. And then people just take it and try to turn it into something that's not. In the case of Esau, we know they're gonna try to lie. All right? And it's on us to be wise. So check this out. This is something they've been doing for years. They triangulate your signal. And this is how they can really tell where you're at all times with this cell phone. All right, the cell phone is kind of the key. That's how they got the new generation to, you know, accept all of these new biometrics and shit. You know, the iPad babies, as they call them. You know, then that goes into you know, the watch, you know, the Apple Watch, and that's always got the GPS on, and then all of the other trinkets and the, you know, watches you can get, you know, with your personal information that you don't need all of these payment apps. You could just scan, you know. But check this out. Look, they got their number. They got the signal popping up. They got what am I calling it?
You can see the Impala on video, and at the same time, Mr. Gathrigh's phone is hitting off a tower just to the east.
It's crazy how they just put all their phone numbers out there like that too.
Yeah. So they could tell exactly where they were at by their cell phone, showing you that they don't need warrants, they don't need all of this stuff to track you. They already have your data, your information. All your information has been leaked and hacked, and then these companies, they get all of this money off of, you know, taking your data without your permission. But then you know, they'll have these large settlements, and then you sign up for it with saying, well, I had that service. Okay, well, here's $3. And then the rest of that money goes to, you know, the lawyers or whoever. It's all a big scam. All right, but it just proves what the scriptures say. They say they hunt our steps. They're looking for everything. They're looking at our personal data, personal information. That's why you have to be wise in what information you put online. You know, we talked about social media before. Now it's just a thing, and people share, and I want to meet everybody, and I want everybody to see this, and that's not really wise to put all your information up there. It's not really wise to put all your thoughts. The scriptures talk about that. Don't empty your heart to every man. You don't have to share your thoughts with every single person. Check this out. They got communication to the person's phone. So they got the who called them and from what location, how long they. They got everything on camera. Oh, the cameras. And it tells us in 2 Thessalonians 2, it talks about the man of sin, the wicked being revealed. All right, who opposed, verse 4, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. All right, we know about how they changed the image of the Father and the Son, the angels, all right, the order of the heavens, into images of them. They're men who are essentially leprous and have had their melanin removed, wasted away as he. All right, but one of the things that Esau does in opposing God, as I say, the devils, fear, believe, and tremble. They actually copy what the Lord set up, and then try to augment it, to do a one up on the Lord, which you can never do. But Esau foolishly does it and tries it anyway. All right, Proverbs 15 and 3. It says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And one thing you notice about today, everybody got a Ring camera, everybody got CCTV. Even the vehicles, people got driver cams. So Esau knows if they really wanted to look us up and do all of that stuff, they know. They know what we're into. They know what we're involved into. If they look at certain data on your phone, they know, what you like to search, what you like to, how long you study. If you're studying on the phone, which, sometimes I study out the book. It's easier on the eyes. But that's what they want to do, man. They want to be able to behold everything, and then ultimately put a mark in you to control, because you can put this phone down somewhere else and walk off somewhere, but they put that mark in you, and you worship them. That's it for you. All right, and the scriptures talk about that. He that destroys a man's livelihood is the same as a bloodshedder. A shedder of blood, a murder. Because you kill that person's livelihood. That's exactly what they're about to do. Everybody's livelihood is about to, be diminished unless you have this marking. Right? That's why, again, we have to be wise with what we're saying. Certain things, are impactful, are going to be sharp. But certain things, really don't need to be that complicated. Just preach the scriptures. We're not here for a lot of back and forth with all these idiots. Because at the end of the day, prophecy speaking, it's you got things happening in real time. That's why it says, Proverbs 15 and 2, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. And that's what we're here for, man. Out of the lips of the priest flow knowledge. See, we're just preaching out of what the Lord said and preaching out of this book. And this is the safe zone. All right, but once you go past that and you go into your own understanding, I believe, I feel like this, and that's what people always say. How do you feel? I feel what the scriptures say. That's how I feel. I feel the scriptures are correct. As a matter of fact, I know and have faith. Ultimately, it's faith. But I know the scriptures are correct, if you get what I'm saying. It's faith, but I know this is true. I know these words to be true. All right, and the apostles have been saying this for years. Which is why if you jump to verse 5, it says, a fool despises his father's instruction, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. All right, so take heed of the example that's been shown. All right, yeah, Esau wants to play God. This is them trying to play God. And Proverbs 5:21, for the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. And ultimately, even if nobody saw you, the Lord saw you. All right, the Lord saw you. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai saw you. Above all. Now you got to remember that this is like because shit. I think of that. I was like, this is like really this is the Lord's movie. He just sitting up, eating his proverbial popcorn because he don't have to eat anything. He don't have to eat or drink. He's a spirit. But you get what I'm saying. Proverbially, like it says, he pondereth all his goings. So okay, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this. He's watching you, and watching this next person, and watching this next person, and then this next person, and then they're gonna get led to you, and then this other person might be around you, but they're gonna get it led away from you, and then, in all perfection. And Esau really thinks he can match that. Yeah, right. All right, he's going Esau's social media apps. They try to direct your steps and meet this person. It'd be like, these people are fucking out of their mind. Social media has destroyed, people's it has raised people's self-perception level up to a point of just completely batshit. I mean, you got 5s on there, like the 10s. It's like, what the fuck, man? Idiots on there speaking as if they're, because the scripture, somebody foolish can say something wise, but the scripture talk about a parable in the mouth of a fool. Like, okay, that was wise, but everything else you said was complete bullshit. Then it's another one up if you jump up Proverbs 5. Verse 2, that thou mayest regard discretion and that thy lips may keep knowledge. Once again. That's why you do these lessons. You don't want to start monologuing too much on the line, personal stories, and it has to be done with seasoning. And then ultimately, the Lord's judgment is perfect based on how you move. It's Jeremiah 32:19. Great in counsel and mighty in work, for thine eyes are open upon all the ways of the sons of men, to give everyone according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Right? To give everyone according to his ways. And so the Lord is going to recompense. He's going to recompense for everything that these people are doing, whether they know it or not. Right? That's why we want to maintain a good report. It talks about that. Somebody with a degree, a step up. 1 Timothy 3:6, not a novice, lest be. Matter of fact, verse 5. Yeah, this all goes into keeping your house in order too. So it said, for if a man, because a young guy, he don't know how to express how things are supposed to go. But once you grounded and you've gone over these things, you start to understand how you want everything maintained. All right, you start off as the janitor, and then work your way up. Now you're doing, cooking, cleaning. Now that's how it's supposed to go. All right, now you're responsible for going to getting the groceries, doing inventory. Pay a bill or two. Okay, keep track of all the bills. All right, now you have your own house. You maintain your own house. It says, how should he take care of the church of God? Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Right? Because a novice gets prideful easy. They learn 10 scriptures and I know every fucking thing. And then you fall into condemnation of the devil. It says, moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach in the snare of the devil, right? So we want a good report with these people that are in the world as well. Right? I was reading 3 John 1 and 12. And then you start up, basically this is a letter written to an elder Gaius, which Gaius I believe is a Greek name, or a Greek Latin name, one of the two. All these names they're writing to and they're talking about are Greek names, but they're Israelites. You know, and he's writing to them, he's talking to them. You know, the elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. Right? And then you jump down to the point. Let me just get right to the point. And it mentions Demetrius. It said, Demetrius hath good report of all men and of the truth itself. Yea, and we also bear record, and ye know that our record is true. All right? And that's what we want, man, a good report amongst all men. Of course, you have certain, pieces of shit that you deal with, and they're not going to like you because they have no self-respect. That is what that is. But for the most part, a good report. It says that 2 Corinthians 6 and 8. It says, by honor and dishonor, by evil report and good report. You got people who just lie on you, that's going to happen. People are going to lie, but understand the times that we're in. Right? All this stuff going on, you got all these crazy ass shooters and people doing crazy shit, and then you keep seeing Jake, and it's like, what the fuck? Who are these people that they wound up, or Satan jumped on them, or they gave some type of drug or some shit, or a combination of the three. And now they're trying to use all these incidents to link with online and this whole little Chud the Builder situation. I know they're gonna try to use this. Well, people are doing too much online, and there's too much extremism, and you have a lot of sick ass people as a result of this kingdom. Right, that problem, reaction, solution shit, people see that you are the problem. Of course you have a solution, because you have a pre-planned solution already. Right? A pre-planned reaction. Oh, that happened? Yeah, it did. And you knew it was going to happen. And we warned you it was going to happen. Just like people are seeing ticks, and people are seeing all this stuff where they've been talking about releasing, and now they're talking about the Hanta, which I remember during the whole 2020 we couldn't even say COVID-19. We couldn't say none of that. We can say it now. It's not censored, but they censored us on the videos. You couldn't say it. Like, what the hell? All right, but that's coming back. That was for a little season, and then they let off now here comes a fully coordinated effort to use all of that. All right? So it is what it is. But don't let them get you with some little shit, man. Let it be an evil report. Let it be some bullshit that they get you on, so that gospel be not blamed. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So our ministry be not blamed. Salakia. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. B'Hashem Rakakadah. Shalom to the elect.